Hello and welcome to the Kilobits. My name is Francesca and this week I want to talk about Super Smash Bros. Now, Super Smash Bros. Came out on the N64 in 1999, and the game was originally released only in Japan. However, due to such mainstream success over there, it was also then released in the West. I think part of the reason they also released it in the West was due to the iconic characters. The game features Nintendo characters, and Nintendo is a successful publisher. As a result, it's not really a risky strategy for them to bring the game over to the West, where a lot of the characters were already known and loved. However, this game did only come with an 8-character roster. There were 4 unlockables, but that's, 12 characters altogether? Smash Bros. For the Wii U has 51. The game has grown and grown since then. However, it did manage to sell 5 million copies on the N64 worldwide. In 2001, we saw the release of its sequel, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Yes, Melee.
Super Smash Bros. Melee!
If you say melee, you are wrong, so don't do it. Releasing only 2 years after the original release of Super Smash Bros., Melee is probably the one that most people of my age know and love. It was a fast-paced, action-packed game, and it was a great game to play with friends. It was really successful, selling 7 million copies worldwide by 2008. Speaking of 2008, that was the year that Super Smash Bros. Brawl was released on the Wii U. This iteration brought in new features, including Smash Balls and third-party characters such as Solid Snake and Sonic. Unsurprisingly, it was a mainstream success, selling 12.4 million copies worldwide, though some people, myself included, criticized the game as they'd slowed down the pace from Smash Bros. Melee. This made the game more accessible to the casual player, and may be responsible for the over 12 million sales the game has achieved. Another feature that made Brawl stand out from its predecessors was that it was accidentally moddable. In the game, you could create levels. You could also load levels from the SD card in your Wii into the game. This allowed a means for modders to come in and patch the disc. It allowed them to reintroduce characters that had been removed, including Mewtwo, and opened up the scene to a whole different host of gamers, whether they wanted to reskin their characters or introduce whole new characters completely. Now in 2014, we have the release of Super Smash Bros. On the Wii U and Super Smash Bros. On the 3DS. We have tie-in figurines known as Amiibo showing up, and 17 brand new playable characters. But why is Smash Bros. So successful? Why have the sales increased iteration on iteration, and what made it so popular in the first place? Well, to begin with, like I previously mentioned, the game contains iconic characters. As opposed to other fighting games where the characters are exclusive to that game, Nintendo introduced a fighting game where you could play as the characters you already knew and loved from other games. Mario, Link, Bowser, Pikachu. Nintendo has a lot of very good quality first-party characters, and so to bring them all together into one game captured the heart of Nintendo fans everywhere. On top of that, it was released on the N64. Now, the N64 came with 4 controller slots, so you could play up to 4 players. The game was released in a gaming era when online play didn't exist. So to have a game where you could play with 4 of your buddies and all have a laugh together was one of its huge selling points. This continued on to the GameCube. My fondest memories of Smash Bros. Are playing with my brothers, me and my 2 brothers, and occasionally my sister. We had a 4-player team all set up by ourselves. Add on top of that the fact that the controls are simple. A lot of fighting games involve memorizing a button sequence in order to pull off that simple move. In Smash Bros, that's not the case. For all of your special abilities on the character, it's a direction and B, or B itself. It's not particularly difficult. On top of that, damaging abilities such as the smash attack can be controlled with a C-stick instead of the traditional flick and A that you can use to charge it, making it much more accessible to anybody. It's a very easy game for someone to pick up and learn and have fun with, and once you've learned how to play one character, you've effectively learned how to play them all. Not so much in what their abilities do, but in the basic control style of the game. And I believe these simple controls are what made it so widely successful, because anyone could play it. Now, I don't really play fighting games, and the reason I don't tend to play fighting games is because the community is very gated. You have to spend time and hours learning button combos for different characters, and each character has a slightly different button combo to cause that super ultra awesome mega attack. Whereas in Smash Bros, you just pick up and play. Another thing that makes it fun is that you don't have health. A lot of the time, the objective is just to smash the other player off the screen. It's fun, it's frantic, but it's also really simple, and you can survive even if you're being beaten up. And I think that's what's made the game so well known and well loved. I mean, let's be honest, the game is not balanced, but there's enough layers to appeal to the competitive scene, whilst also being enough fun to appeal to the casual scene. It brings people together and creates fond memories, and that's why the franchise has been so successful. I'm curious as to what will happen with the Wii U version, considering the Wii U doesn't have very strong sales at the moment. Will it boost these sales? Will it bring more people around to the Wii U? Or will sales numbers suffer as a result? Alternatively, how is it going to work on the 3DS? Like, a single 3DS is not multiplayer. It's completely alien to the whole Smash Bros. Tradition of having multiple people on one console. Instead, you're going to have to either group up with your DSs or play online. And whilst online did feature in Brawl, it's never been the core feature of Smash Bros. Smash Bros has always been about getting together with your friends and hanging out. So I'm interested to see what will happen with this latest iteration. Though I only have one problem: why did they get rid of the ice climbers? We want ice climbers. Though, considering that Mario Kart 8 received DLC, there is potential to add even more characters to the latest Smash Bros, and I'm really excited to play the game. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you like Smash Bros? Do you hate Smash Bros? Who's your favorite character? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please press that thumbs up button. We also have a Facebook over at facebook.com/thekilobits. And if you're a Twitterer, then we have Twitter at the Kilobits. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at Jaggerus, and I also have a live stream, twitch.tv/Jaggerus. I'll see you guys in the next video. It's been smashing.